God bless everyone. Juan Vega for Hebrew Quotes. Um, Today I want to share with you a letter that my mother wrote to me in 2009 when I was dabbling a little bit in the Hebrew Roots movement. I was getting deep into it, and surprisingly, I received this letter from my mom of what the Lord told her to write to me. So I want to share what she wrote to me. And I'm going to try. It was in Spanish and I had to translate it into English. So I translated the best way I can. I'm not really good in translating, but I'm going to do my best. So here he goes. A letter from mom. Okay. Let me fix this a little bit. It says, "Dear son, God bless you next to your family. We are fine, thanks to God. Son, I write this letter because I have been praying for you, and God has placed fear in my heart for you. God has let me see that you are choosing the ways of the Jews." Certain things I'll explain later. "And are abandoning the ways of Christ, and has made the clothes of the Jews an idol in your heart, which to Christ means nothing. He has made me see that Christ wants your soul, not rituals." I'll explain that later. "Which you are abandoning your salvation for. And the enemy wants to deceive you and is putting in your heart to walk away from your congregation and making you see things all wrong. But God tells you that there is people who are saved." That the way my mother translated is the way I translate it here. There is people who are saved, talking about the people of the church, my congregation, pleasing the Lord, beginning with your pastor. That is a servant of the Lord, and God backs him up. And that you see a few that you don't like from him. Like I said, the way she wrote it was the way I translated it. So, "The Lord has let me see that the Jewish people do not serve him how he wants them to. They only have traditions and don't believe, but some have come to Christ and are saved. The other half truly don't know him how he wants them to and serve him. Christ wants you to wake up spiritually and return to him, because you are putting your salvation in danger, and wants you to consecrate yourself to him and to abandon Judaism, because you're taking your eyes away from him and you have gone to the book of the Torah. We are in saving grace that comes from Christ. Open your spiritual eyes so that you won't fall in darkness, because the enemy wants to take you out from the ways of Christ. You still have time. The enemy is dressing himself as an angel of light to deceive away from the ways of Christ. I write to you what God has placed in my heart. And I was actually believing what you were telling me. But praying God opened my eyes and has let me see that I was wrong too. He wants you praying and serving him how he wants you before you fell spiritually. You fell spiritually. I want you to continue and don't leave the ways of Christ and listen to the voice of God. God admonish you to stay in his ways. Love you, Esther." That's my mom's name. She wrote this letter to me in the early years of 2009. Okay, I was dabbling a little bit. I was actually, the year before that was when I started it. Okay, was when I started it. The following year was when I was getting a little bit deeper into it. I started buying prayer shawls. I started getting the Jamalek. I started getting zitzits or fringes, separate fringes. I was using a talit to pray with. And the first time I used a talit to pray with, I put it over my head. I kneeled on the floor and I just started praying and started speaking in tongues and whatnot. But it didn't felt like when I speak in tongues without it. It was totally different. So I just let it be. But when I received this letter in 2009, I was in shock. Okay? I was in shock when I read that letter. And at the moment, I didn't know what to do. I was sitting in my bed and I was just contemplating, you know. And it's funny how all this happened. So in 2004, I was going through the internet. In those days, our computers were the bulky ones. So I was going through the internet. I was just searching for something to read because I love to read. So let me fix this a little bit. And I found this book that you needed to print it in order to read it. And it was called The Lost Legacy. But it was in, what is it, PHF? Something like that. So I downloaded everything. Not downloaded, I printed all out. I kind of, all the paper, my printing paper that I had, I maxed it out completely. I had to buy more because it was a big book. And in that year, 2004, I printed it out every day, printed a little bit out every day until it was complete. But I didn't start reading it in 2004. I put it away. I completely forgot about it. In 2008 is when I pulled it out and I started reading it. And it opened my curiosity. So I started reading and reading and reading. By the following year, 2009, early, I already had the prayer shawl with the white zitzits. I didn't understand anything about that. I was just buying it, and I was buying all these stuff. And then I get this letter from my mom. And it just completely shocked me. So, but here's what I want people to understand. Even my mom, when I would talk to her about what I was reading, she was being convinced in what I was being convinced, that the Lord had to admonish her first and wake her up before it was too late. And when the Lord dealt with her about this, the Lord caused her to write a letter to me in order to admonish me and to wake me up before it was too late. So I'll continue this in the next video. Stand by.